All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of Saber Sims DFS office hours. It is Thursday, January 5th of 2023. Hope you all got your PGA lineups in and are ready to sweat them. Should be a fun weekend with PGA back. Also got a 4-game NBA slate tonight, as well as a 10-game hockey slate. Looking ahead to Saturday NFL, as well as our last week of the Max Challenge. Make sure to get those mini Max entries in for Sunday's main slate to lock in all of your end of the season prizes if you have been participating all year. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Andrew, one of the coaches over here at SaberSim. This is a show where we go over how to use the SaberSim app, answer any and all DFS related questions that come in the office hours channel in our Discord server. If you are not in our Discord, there's a link in the description below to get joined up, as well as a link to a 7-day, no strings attached free trial. If you are new here, checking us out, new year, want to get into DFS, now is a great time to use that 7-day free trial and see what we are all about. You can get your questions answered here on this show Monday through Friday. Usually the show is at 2 p.m. Eastern. Just moved it a little bit today so everybody can get their golf lineups in. We could answer support questions for any last minute issues that people were having, but all was pretty quiet, so that is good. But we are going to get rolling here. Going to get SaberSim pulled up and going to hop over to the office hours channel. If you have questions and you are in our Discord, you can put them in the office hours channel. If you're just tuning in, have some questions, throw them in the live YouTube chat. We will get to everything before the end of the show. Promise you guys that. So I see a couple questions here related to the golf stream that came in yesterday. So I'm going to assume that those got answered on the golf stream. If you weren't aware, Jordan had Eric and Will on yesterday from the models team talking about all the updates we've made to the golf model. Was a really good show. Was able to catch it myself, talked a lot and gave a lot of useful insight of what we are capturing, what we aren't capturing. So if you are interested in that, you can find that over on our YouTube channel. And it looks like our first question from today came in from Studewood, and I am going to get this pulled over here. Question says, morning guys, I have run 9 builds for the Saturday NFL slate, and I cannot generate a stack that consists of the following QB plus 2 with 3 bringbacks and a secondary stack of 2/1. Please advise. I have 0 rules, just default. Looks like Studewood is here. What is going on? Glad you're able to catch the show. Glad we are starting off with your question. Okay, so there are 5 positions here in this primary stack, and then there are 3 positions in your secondary stack. So let's go over to NFL. Let's try and figure this out. I see you had a little back and forth with our man Will there. So one thing I just want to confirm really quickly is how many positions we have here, and then I will look at it there. So I see some screenshots here. You know, you're trying to build basically a QB plus 2 for the Bills, 3 stack. No, Tyreek Hill is not on the Chiefs. Okay, so this is old. So one thing I do want to say right off the bat here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so just so you guys know, defense is not included in stack types. All right. So if we go over, to the home stream, our primary, our secondary, defenses are not part of this. So any defensive rule that you are trying to set will have to be a group rule. So if you come over here and you do like a manual group rule, like if then or some type of rule like that, then you can include defenses. But if we go over, man, I'm almost positive this does not work. And if we come into our advanced stack rules, right? No, we do include defense here. Maybe you can do it. I would actually be pretty surprised about this, but it looks like you can include defense in a stack here. But the thing is, I don't think we're counting defenses in in stacks. So that's where it gets a little funny. I'm going to have to talk to the team about that one. But, what can we do, right? Let's see. We want a QB +2 with 3 ring backs. So what I would do is I would set a primary stack, an advanced stack, and I would say QB +1, running back, wide receiver, tight end, equal to 2. I wouldn't even mess with the greater than or equal them stuff. And then I would check opposing team. And then I would say, running back, wide receiver, tight end equal to 3. And then that is now my primary stack, right? So I have this primary stack right here. We just recently added the ability to rename rules. So if you want to come in, you save a rule. You don't want to say advanced stack number 6. You're like, what is that? We could say, short slate game stack or something like that. And then change that, right? So then now the rule is whatever you want it to be. You could do it right away too. Like I didn't do it right away. I went back and did it. But anytime you create a new rule, now you have the ability to name that right out of the gate. So that was something that people were asking for. Definitely an improvement there. Okay, so that is our first stack. Then we are going to do a second stack. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say stack. I'm going to remove QB, and then I'm going to say exactly 2. And then I'm going to say with opposing team exactly 1. And then I'm just going to leave all the position players open. So I am pretty sure these 2 rules combined should work. So let's give this a shot. So our first rule has a QB. Second rule does not. The only thing I think might happen is that once we get the rule to work, it's going to go really slow because we are being very, very restrictive about what lineups we allow into the builder, but it looks like it's not working at the moment. So we will have to figure this out. Studentwood, I know you are here. I might have to look at this behind the scenes and do a little more digging, and I will just respond to you in the office hours channel. I was hoping we could come on here and figure out a rule that would work for you, but we're not building any lineups here. We do have the roster positions available. Only other thing I can think of, which it looks like you already tried, is to do it via the stack types, right? So you can always come into a stack type, uncheck them all, only check in the stack types you want, QB +2 with 3 on the opposing team, and then come in here and then do secondary 1. And then it sounded like you did that, but I'm just going to run it here really quickly. Like you're basically saying like, hey, builder, you can only use these stacks. And technically it should work, right? Because we have all of the spots available, I think. Or actually, you know what it is? You are using all 9 spots, right? QB +2, so that's 3. With 3 on the other side, that's 6. And then a 2x1. So that does include the defense. So not sure if you can exactly do that, but what you might be able to do, just off the top of my head right now, just kind of thought about this. Don't do a 2-1, just do a 2, and then just limit your defenses to whatever you want, right? So I'm going to leave defenses open here, and then we'll just handle it in the post build. But I think you could do this. So we have now put in our primary stack type. We have a secondary 2 stack, but we left all defenses open. You should be able to do something like this and then just manage the exposure to your defenses. It's not working right now, but Studentwood, I'm going to move on. I am going to figure this out for you. So I'm going to make a note for myself, Studentwood stack rule, and I will figure out the best way to write the rule or do it via the stack types and get back to you in the office hours channel. So appreciate you tuning in. Sorry I couldn't figure it out right now, but we will get back to it. All right, moving on to the next question here. Question from Rum Runners. Said, I watched the PGA video this morning and Will started discussing geometric mean. I have not used this feature. Can you point me in the right direction to figure out how/when to use this? And I see somebody responded with a segment that Jordan and I did, which is the perfect segment to talk about. So I'm just going to mention that for everybody watching. If you are interested in learning more about geometric mean. Jordan and I did a video when we first came out with it. If you ever have questions about certain topics, you can always go over to our YouTube channel. Just use the search bar, type in a keyword. So I'm just going to use geomean here. And Jordan and I did this 30-minute segment at the beginning of this episode, and talked about product ownership and geometric mean, what it is, what the calculation is, pros and cons, how to use it, when to use it, or different times where it could be viable. So I would check that out. Definitely a good thing to know about and be able to apply in certain situations. One thing I do want to say is that, Will did mention that he was using a geomean filter for PGA today. That is specifically due to the field size. Today the event that's happening this weekend is a no-cut event with only 39 golfers. Usually a normal PGA tournament is like 160 golfers with a cut, and usually it's like the top 60. If you're in 60th place, you get to advance, even if it's a tie. So that is why he was doing that. So I think for the specific event that was happening today with such a small field with no cut, you got to be a little more concerned about duplication, right? And so that is really what any type of ownership rule is looking at, right? You're trying to decrease the amount of times that a lineup that you have, somebody else has that same lineup in a contest. It can also be done via some ownership, but geometric mean / product ownership is a better / more advanced way of looking at it. That's open for debate, but I think that's fairly accepted in the DFS industry. So check out that video. We put the formula for how to do it. It's basically, number of dupes divided by total entries in the contest to the power of 1 divided by the number of lineups or the number of roster positions in a lineup. I'm almost positive I would check out that video, but that is why, he talked about using it for this specific event. I think if you were to talk to him about using it for future events, he would be probably a little less inclined to do it when that field size, 4X's, right? So just some notes on geometric mean there and why he was using it for golf. I don't want somebody to, watch that video and take that principle and apply it to every golf slate for the rest of the season, right? That's really what we don't want. So just a little disclaimer there, but that is why he was using it for this specific event. All right. Scrolling down here. Question from Chuck the Pure. This is our last question in the Discord, and then we are going to jump over to the YouTube chat. So if anybody watching has questions, now is a great time to get them in. All right. Chuck said, this might be a bug, but anytime I try to create a 99th percentile rule in NBA, it shows up for a split second and then disappears. Can you demo this rule to see if you can reproduce this bug on your end? At least 2 players above 35 points, 99th percentile. Okay, so we are creating a rule that for NBA. So let's give this a shot. So NBA, going to go over to this 4-game slate. Anytime I try to create a 99th percentile rule. Okay, so sounds like you're doing a stack requirement. So you're basically saying use at least 2 whose 99th percentile is greater than 35. That's the rule as I understand it. Let me know if it's not that, but just, rereading this, at least 2 players above 35 points, 99th percentile. So I'm going to save this rule, and it disappeared. Okay, Chuck, this is a bug as you have noted here. Not sure why that is happening, but anytime you guys experience something like this, all you got to do, go over to this report a problem link underneath the settings drop down and just say rule disappears when I hit save. Just a brief description. Tell us what's going on. Hit this submit button, and this will give us enough information about your session to help us figure out what the issue was in that specific instance. But definitely a bug there. let me take it back to the team once the show ends, and I will see what we can do about it. But I just sent in the reported problem on my side. If you could do it as well, the more instances, if you're experiencing a bug multiple times, the more instances we have. Sometimes they're really tricky and we can't figure it out. We can't reproduce it right away. Luckily, I was able to do that. So it should be easier for the team to figure out. But if you guys experience anything, reporting a problem every single time helps us out a lot. All right, jumping over to YouTube chat. See one question from M. Jackson here. Question is, I've been on a relentless losing streak. I've tried using mini uniques, not using them, playing with exposures, altering projections, etc. What are some factors to look for or try to get back on track? M. Jackson, first, I think that, I want to point you guys to a video that somebody brought up recently. I think it's a really good video overall. It's sometimes, these videos get lost as we create new content, as more shows happen. So if you go over to our YouTube channel, and we have a great video. It's what does variance look? What does variance after 100 slates look like? Somebody was talking about something similar in the pro Discord, the pro channel the other day, and Chuck DePere called out this video. It is a really good video from about a year ago when Jordan was the host of Office Hours. He basically creates a sheet, assumes that the player is a very good player and has a high expectation of winning, and just shows what randomness can look like if you run it multiple times. I think this is a very kind of bring you back to earth about what variance actually looks like, or give you a glimpse behind the scenes of what variance can be. I think a lot of people's understanding of what variance is probably not that good if you're not doing back testing and have a thorough understanding of it. Someone explained it to me as, whatever you think variance is, if you think it's the size of the planet, you think it's actually the size of the sun, right? It is so much broader and bigger than you might imagine. So this is like a great sample size of that. I would highly recommend watching this. As far as things you could do, I would say, first and foremost, continue to exercise bankroll management, right? That's really important. If you are not familiar with our bankroll management guidelines, check out the DFS profit plan in this 17-minute video. It is a way that we have created through backtesting, or created a set of guidelines through backtesting to help users try and smooth out their variance over a long period of time. Playing a certain amount of single entries and 3 maxes, playing a certain amount of 20 max and 150 max, trying to create a balance that allows you to grow your bankroll, but handle the swings and still get enough action down on a night-to-night basis. Great video. I apply these rules and guidelines in my own process and have had a lot of success using them. Getting back to, SaberSim, right? So going to come up here, going to get SaberSim pulled back up. And what can you do, to kind of help yourself, right? I would say, well, I just pulled SaberSim back up, but I'm actually going to go back to YouTube. So whatever sport you're playing, right? I would try and consume as much content. You might have watched it once. I would watch it again, right? For like losing, and what am I missing, right? Where am I going wrong? Look for sport specific content on our YouTube channel, right? Maybe you're playing NBA, like come and watch this NBA video. You want more NBA content, search NBA and look at all of the different NBA videos we have, old, new, whatever. Like there are so many good nuggets and tips in all of these videos. Kind of get back to some of those I would say fundamentals, or what are you missing? I think another good thing that this is something I do. I don't think I've talked a lot about this. I write down my process step by step, and I write down the reason why. So it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, right? And, maybe you just give it a shot, right? Go into the NBA slate tonight and write down every single thing you do. And don't worry about why, but just write it all down. After the slate, or, slate locks, whatever, you got some time, come back and write down why for every single bullet point you did. Like, why did I do this? Why did I do that? If you can't come up with a good reason, maybe it's not that important. Maybe it's not adding that much value. Or, you're able to weed out, what is noise, and then you're able to weed out what is, the meat and potatoes of your process, what really matters, right? So I would give that a shot. That was something that Andy, CEO of SaberSim, had me do as like an exercise, and I got a lot out of that, right? I was able to trim some of what was not important and kind of focus more on what was really helping me add value in my process. So it's kind of like a reflective thing. Write down your process, write down why, give it a hard look, kind of determine, am I just doing this because, I saw it on Twitter somewhere where somebody said it, like what is this actually doing for me? So I think that is probably the first step I would take, and then go from there. And you can always come back to the show and ask more questions. But, looking at sports specific content, writing down your process, and figuring out why you do each and everything, and determining if it is important or not, is a good practice and a good starting point for looking deeper into what am I doing on a night-to-night basis, and is that adding value? So I think that those are some key points there that I wanted to call out, but definitely a good question. All right. Comments from Studewood here, some positive feedback. I just stick with your process, keep playing mini uniques each week. I think DFS is a high variance game, and you do have to play night in, night out, but I do think it's definitely worth reviewing your process if you've been on a long losing streak. So you won't win every time. Learn to accept that, because once you will hit big, then you will know your process works. Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in more like DFS content, couple good DFS podcasts, the Emotional Bankroll podcast by Brian Jester is a really good one. A lot of high stakes pros or high volume pros go on that show. They talk about their big ups and downs, heaters, downswings, etc. Our own Eric, who was on the golf show yesterday, has an episode in the Emotional Bankroll podcast. You guys want to hear more about Eric, you can catch him on that episode. Go and find it on any podcast platform. Another one is the High Stakes podcast by Neil Orfield. I think there was a episode with RBX 88, 3-time Millie Maker winner, really good DFS player, where he says he went on like a 600K downswing, right? But the way he kind of weathered that storm is like, it only takes one win to turn around your entire year, right? Like at the stakes he's playing, you win 1 milli, like that makes up for your losses. That gets you all your profit for like the whole year. So that's, kind of that mentality he had. I think that's a similar for a lot of us at the lower stakes, right? You might be losing for months and months, and it only takes, one mini max win, right? One 10K hit, or, you're playing more of the flagships, 100K hit to get back a lot of those losses and cover all of your losses for the last couple months, and then put you in the green, right? So don't lose faith. Keep going strong, keep working hard every day. Try out that reflective process, and just continue to get better. But that's all I can say. You're here watching this show, asking questions. That means you want to get better. So happy to answer any question you have. All righty there. Couple good questions. I don't see anything else in the queue today. Good luck in all of your golf contests. You're playing Golf Showdown. You're playing the golf main slate. We'll be right back here tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, for our Friday show. Looking ahead to football Saturday and Sunday. Got the national championship on Monday. Should be a fun, action-packed weekend. You guys have any questions after the show, throw them in the Office Hours channel while they're fresh on your mind, and I will get to those in the next show. If we could build up a queue of questions, that'll make the show last a little longer. So anytime something's on your mind, throw it in the Office Hours channel, let it sit there, and we will get back to it the next day. But until then, I will see you all. Good luck in your contest. Take care.